Hello, this is Marjolein Robertson for the Shetland College podcast, and today I'm joined with Ella Gordon. Hi Ella.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us on the show.
That's no problem.
It's lovely to have you here. How are you doing?
Fine, yeah, how are you?
Good. And we have you here to speak, predominantly this week is actually leading on Shetland Wool Week, which you're involved with.
Yeah.
But before we go into any of that or go any further, can you kind of give an introduction to the listeners to yourself, please?
Well, I was born and bred in Shetland, and I currently work at Jameson Smith Shetland Wool Brokers, and I also do kind of my own hand knit patterns for knitting designs, and yeah, that's about it.
And you went to, what did you study, sorry?
At Shetland College.
Cool. And was that textile or design?
I did textiles. When I finished at school, I did the 1 year art and design course and then the textiles degree. So I graduated, I think, 2012 with a BA with distinction.
Oh, brilliant!
I can't remember what that meant, but I was very pleased with it at the time.
I know, listen, you may recognise Ella's design, because the design that always sticks out for me that you've done is the craftiest design.
Yeah.
How often do you get told that?
But that's good though. That was the design I did, because I was last year's patron for Wool Week. Every year, so they have a patron who does a design for that kind of year, and the idea is that people make it and wear it when they come to Shetland.
Yeah.
So that'll be why you kind of saw last year at Wool Week, everybody wearing Crafty's hat, which is just wild. Yeah,
because I was working at someone had Lighthouse, and we get a lot of visitors from Wool Week, and they came in with their hats with the Lighthouse with the Crafties on it. Yeah. So does that pattern get released prior to the festival?
Yeah, it gets. I think the past 3 years there's an Edinburgh Yarn Festival which is in March, and that year's Patron will get released in March, so that gives people 6 months to make the hat before Wool Week.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so that's quite cool. So when I was then, we went down in March and kind of launched it, and that's the first time anybody sees it, and then people make it up until they come to Shetland.
So just to go back to the craftiest pattern, did you design that in your college course?
No.
Oh, when did you design that?
Just before that, once, I suppose, because I made cushions in the shape of craft houses when I was at the college. That was the last thing I did kind of for my degree show, and I sold those craft fairs and things like that for about 3 years or so.
I bought one for my baby niece because I wanted her favourite toy to be a craft house. Yeah. She loves it.
Oh, that's good. So when they asked me to be patron, I was that's kind of the kind of motif I was known for. So I knew I was going to do it in my design. So I think it would have been around last Christmas time was when I was doing the design. It had to be finalised, and then it came out in March. So yeah, it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long before that I designed it.
Yeah, and now you work at
the Wool Brokers. Yeah, Jameson Smith. I've worked there since I got a Saturday job when I was at college, just right at the end, and I've worked there pretty much full time.
What's your role there?
Well, I work in the shop, and I also do quite a lot of the social media kind of stuff, and also do the pattern layout and design and stuff for knitting patterns that we sell through there. But mainly working in the shop. That's what I kind of do day to day.
That's cool, and it's cool about the social media because you've got your own website as well.
I have a blog. Yeah, I started that I think just after I finished at college. I kind of wish I had it while I was at college, because it's kind of quite even. Because I've only had it now for 4 years or so, but even looking back on stuff you were doing not that long ago, it's quite cool. So but yeah, I've had that for about 4 years or so, and I just kind of originally I was using it, I suppose, just to document everything, but now it's kind of more my designs, and when I launch a new pattern, I can do a blog post about it. But people love seeing stuff just about Shetland and photos in Shetland, and because I like taking photos and doing posts about can you go somewhere a bit different for a walk or something, then I try to take my camera and take photos and stuff, so I enjoy doing that.
What inspired you to start? Because I started a blog when I left uni.
I think I read it. I used to read it, I'm sure.
I still have it. I just only write in it about once a year, and I always mean to write in it more frequently, because the whole point of starting it was when you leave university, because at university you have to write essays and papers and questions, I did a lot of writing, and I wanted just to keep up my writing.
Yeah.
Was the theory, although it's the worst spell grammatically, like it's so poor. So what inspired you to start after university?
I think probably much the same, yeah, just to like keep myself doing stuff and to try and document what I was doing when I left. But it's just kind of, yeah, I do enjoy doing it, but I know what you mean. And also I feel like the longer you don't post, the more like nervous you get, or like you think it starts becoming more of a thing than it should, whereas if you posted regularly it wouldn't be a thing. If
you don't post on your blog regularly, you have to there has to be a big reason to start writing again,
and then you have to be like sorry, and they'll like explain why you haven't done anything or said anything for so long. So
every post of mine since 2013 begins with an apology.
I know, sorry.
But I've read your posts as well, and it's that thing when I read yours, I'm just like happy to see a post and see what you've been up to.
Yeah. And I always get quite a lot of comments and stuff, so it's good.
Do you think with Wool Week as well, it's connected you with more people across the world?
Definitely, yeah.
Is there quite a big knitting community like across the world?
Yeah, huge. I think it's one of those things it's kind of hard for us even being in Shetland to understand how kind of amazing Shetland is to so many people, and kind of just what we stand for in the terms of knitting. It's kind of like so high up there that it's such a destination for people to come to, and they just sometimes people who are interested in Shetland want to know everything about Shetland, and they're kind of happy to read anything that you're kind of willing to share about it. And sometimes you think there's things that's quite boring. Like I remember I did a post about like how to use a jumper board, and I was like writing it, and I was like, okay, and then you open the arm and then you put it, and I was thinking everybody's going to be like, how stupid does this girl think we are? But I still get people like asking me, and I still like link them to it. Oh, this is how I use my jumper board.
To be honest, I just realised now that Mum's always put my Gansey on the board.
Yeah.
I never have actually done it before.
Yeah.
That's I know what I'm going to do.
I would need to do like a video version.
You should. But yeah, it's really interesting. And also just sitting in this room with you now, we're in Ella's house, and it's actually the amount of knitwear and lace around us. And it's like I've seen, because working at Lighthouse I'd sometimes wear my fair Gansey, and they're so, folk have come from Wool Week, I suppose it's so nice for them to see Fair being worn in Shetland in the flesh.
Because
and it's not a novelty for us to wear it. We like it. But
because I think when you go to like knitting events or anything, then everybody's got like all the goods. They wear like the best knitwear, of course, because it's like they're in a crowd of people that appreciate it.
Yeah.
But here, we just do it because it's just what we do. And I mean, I have the kind of all those piles of stuff I have in here is like when I don't know. Maybe like I would say I didn't wear a lot of like knitwear stuff when I was growing up, and then kind of when I was getting into knitting, that was when I started buying, because I've always like bought things from charity shops and things like that, but then I started looking for vintage knitwear, and I've like gotten this collection of like ridiculous levels in like a couple of years, but it's because I'm so interested in like colours and construction, and like inspires all my designs. And not that I'm not copying things, but it's just like you take inspiration from kind of how Shetland knitwear has kind of changed over the decades.
I think taking inspiration is a really Shetland thing to do as well, though, because it's like, firstly, Shetland knitting is obviously a traditional thing of colours and patterns, and secondly, what I love in Shetland is like from fiddle tunes to words, it's like from area to area in Shetland you share it, and it slightly changes and modifies it. It's been shared by ear or by memory. So it's quite nice I never thought about that aspect of knitting and patterns before, but surely that's what would have happened.
And then like one of my patterns I have is for like is a yoke jumper, but it's like not a traditional yoke. Like it's got like a much lower neckline than kind of traditional Shetland yokes do, because sometimes I find they come up quite high. They're kind of like strangly a little bit, but I have like it's like kind of got more of like a scoop neck, and it's like, so it's taking elements of the design that are kind of like timeless, but just making it something more like what I would wear and what kind of my friends would wear and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever buttoned my cardigan up to the top button.
No,
and that's I never would.
I can deal with a yoke. I can deal with a yoke jumper that's really high neck, but a yoke cardigan that's really high neck is because I feel like it's stabbing you in the throat. Like the button bands are like either side, like. So.
That's good. So how many I was going to ask you a question, maybe a stupid question, like how many designs have you done? But have you done quite...
Well, I've got probably about 10 or so like published designs now, and so what I do is like sell them as PDFs.
Okay.
So people buy the PDF, download it, print it off, and then can make their own. And like I also sell like paper copies of the patterns like in the shop. But like where I sell them online is this website called Ravelry, which like most like knitters know about it, but it's like kind of like Facebook for knitters in some way. There's like forums, and you can buy patterns and keep tracks of all your projects, and like you put like, you know, when you started a project, when you finished it, and all this kind of stuff. So that's where I sell them, is on there, and it's like so easy. You just upload the PDF and then people can buy it from you.
And it sounds like such a idiot internet question, but on Ravelry, is it like specific part of the world, like Europe, or is it all around the world members?
Whole world, yeah.
Really?
They've got like over, I think it's over 7 million members, I'm sure.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. And there's like people who I've known like on Ravelry, and then you like meet them in real life, and it's huge.
So does an event like Wool Week reach people on websites like that, bringing them to Shetland?
Yeah, like, so on Ravelry there's like a Shetland Wool Week group, and there'll be like people who are like, oh, where's everybody coming from? And everybody like tells them where they're coming from, or like, does anybody want to car share like to this thing in
to Aberdeen? Oh, sorry.
No, like to an event, like, or like
amazing.
to Walser, stuff like that. So yeah.
Because of all the organisation, do you find it easier for Wool Week to be decentralised then around Shetland?
I think it's kind of, as it's gotten bigger every year, like more places around Shetland have kind of gotten involved. Like they have like a HAP, like kind of like a shawl event thing in Albury, like on the Albury Hall, which is on all week. Like Walser has loads of stuff going on, obviously Unst has loads of stuff going on. They even have like it came like a Fair Isle trip where people like fly in like just for the day and then fly back out and stuff, and like all that, like obviously you have to like book way in advance and everything, but it's as soon as people understand, you know, that you probably better to like hire a car or things like that, then they can get around Shetland like and see kind of all the things that are happening all over.
It's quite clever as well, because Wool Week is each of the summer burst.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's easier for them.
Well, like for my work, this is now like the busiest time of year for us.
Oh, it's because all the ooze coming in.
For wool, well, yeah, the wool season is kind of coming to an end. It'll kind of be finishing at the end, end of September, beginning of October. But Wool Week is the busiest week in the shop.
Wow.
By far, by far.
So is it quite a prolific festival for knitting throughout the world? Because it's just funny. It's just the knitting world is something I know nothing of. Really.
Yeah. Well, it's like the knit world is like huge but tiny at the same time. And like in January I went. That was like with Shetland Wool Week to New York, like to Vogue Knitting Live, which was like this huge like event in Times Square.
Wow.
And it was like my mind was like absolutely blown. It was just crazy. But then so there was me standing like in this thing in Times Square in New York, and there's people like coming up who knew who I was and like knew what Shetland Wool Week was, knew what Shetland was. Like for every like 5 people who had no idea what Shetland was, there was like 15 people who did know what it was.
Really?
Knew what Shetland Wool Week was. Yeah. Like it's huge, and there was people who were like, oh yeah, I've been, and there was people who I like remember being there, because I think, and then people are also always surprised, but like I don't know how you feel, but I feel like because we're Shetlanders and we like recognise people, like you know how you see people all the time.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like you don't really forget a face, like you know I've met you before, or you know I've spoken to you.
Yeah, when you see musicians you met at the folk festival doing stuff, you're like, oh, you're in Shetland in 2012.
And and they're like, and they can't believe that you like remember them, and you're like, I just remember faces.
Even without the drink, it's like I know your face.
Yeah, totally. And so there was people who like recognised me in New York, and it was just like wild.
That's brilliant. And how is that Vogue Knitting event?
Vogue Knitting Live, yeah. So it's just, again, it's like, it was like a marketplace, so they had like loads of stalls and stuff, and then they also have like loads of classes and people like teaching stuff in them. So it was mental.
That's amazing. And is there many Shetlanders who actually take part as punters within Wool Week?
Yeah.
Or could there be more? Because it's actually something that it would be exciting to get more local folk in, because it's their own heritage. And
yeah. I think it's
skill set.
I mean, there's certain people like Donna Smith, who was the patron the year before me, 2015. Like she does night classes and stuff throughout the year. So it's like I think things like that is probably more accessible for Shetlanders, because there's so many people coming to Wool Week, and they're coming so far, they really want to get on classes.
Yeah,
so the classes book it, like sell out so quickly, like within the first day, more like 80% of the classes are sold out.
Wow.
Because people obviously want to make it worth their while to come here. But there's so many like free things and just like things you can just turn up to, that I think that's the kind of things probably more like local people go to, and but it's still, yeah, you still would love to see more local people, but they just need to like get when the tickets go on sale, there's like the website crashes, and it, like no matter what they try, however much they try and prepare, you can't keep up with the demand of the people that are trying to get on and buy classes and stuff. So
but there's scope for growth continuously for the festival over the next year.
It just seems to just get bigger and bigger every year. So, but I mean, now it's the Shetland Mini Trust that's running it. So obviously previously it was Promote Shetland. So I don't know kind of what's going to happen to it
in future.
Yeah,
it's so good it's happening this year though, because it's funny that I was quite unaware from it, or I was unaware of, for want of a better word, how religious some people are about it.
Yeah.
Until I worked in Summerhead Lighthouse, because of course they come and visit Shetland, so they also, it's great because a lot of people who visit Wool Week take time to visit other places, such as Summerhead.
Yeah.
And you met people and they're talking about it, and if they saw Gansey, they talked about the Gansey and the Borough Bears in the shop.
Yeah.
And it's actually like, wow, you just take it for granted when you live here, completely.
Yeah.
Even if you still like admire Fair and you're proud of your Fair Gansey and stuff, you forget like how much of a traditional craft we have that's so special.
I think it, even for me who's working with it every day, it, like makes you appreciate it more, because we take totally for granted that this is our culture.
Yeah.
And even though I don't come from like a long line of knitters, and everything wasn't passed down to me or anything, and I have mostly kind of learnt it for myself, there's still like this shared culture that you're a part of because you're from here. So, and you do take that for granted, because there's people who are so interested in knitting, and they maybe they come from somewhere where there's not like a heritage of it at all, and I can't really imagine that, because we just come from it.
I know, I kind of feel guilty for no knitting. Like, I can do plain and purl. I feel terrible. And I've got 2 neighbours near me who are amazing knitters, and I'm always like, oh, I'll go along one day and learn from them.
Well, there's plenty of time.
Yeah. Do you think there should be more like, how do you feel it is doing as well? Like, do you think it might be a bit of a lost art, or?
I don't know.
Do you think there's enough people getting interested in it?
Yeah. And there's definitely is, I think, younger people, and a lot of people coming back to it.
Good.
Like, we found that at the shop, there's a lot of people coming, to remember, like Sandra, who I work with, she did, like when we did a pattern for like a traditional yoke cardigan, because the amount of people that was asking for it, and it's one of those things that you just thought people just knew how to do, or had a pattern themselves.
Oh, so pattern for just a traditional,
just totally traditional, but it's because people were taught by their mums, by their grannies, and people who aren't here anymore to show you, and they just knew and they showed you their way. And you don't, like, the amount of people that say like, oh, I'm just needing kind of loops, like how many loops to pass on, like to get going, kind of thing. And you get a lot of people coming in that they're like, okay, I used to knit when I was young, but I've not done it for years, but I'm just wanting to something to do all the winter, and that's what you want, is people coming to it like in their own time and in their own way, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was not being forced into it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, I always feel like when I'm older, I'm going to start knitting. Little people didn't.
It's very good for relaxation.
Yeah.
And like before you go to bed and stuff, instead of looking at your phone.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, because I always admired my neighbours as well. I can like watch telly and knit at the same time. I'm like, 2 birds in one stone.
The only thing I can't do is watch things that's got like subtitles. Like you're trying to and you miss like crucial things happening, so it's not good for my Scandi crime.
Oh yeah.
So you have to do that without knitting. But
That's cool. And do you think Wool Week, has that like built up your reputation as well, some patterns?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was like one of those things when I was kind of asked like to be patron, it came your natural inclination to be like, oh no, like I wouldn't want to do that. But then I was like, no, like I knew if I didn't do it I would regret it.
Yeah.
And you never know, I mean they maybe would never have asked you again.
And it's an honour to be asked.
And totally, yeah, especially when you're relatively young, and yeah, so I was kind of like, okay, I'll do that. And yeah, it's been so good for me and given me those kind of opportunities, like going to New York. I would never.
So you did that because you'd been patron the previous year?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was because of that I was able to go, yeah. So, I mean, you can't really say no to opportunities like that.
And you see added interest in your website.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, coming from a blog perspective of a blog that I post twice a year, but like after I put a post, I'm like obsessed with how many views I get on my post. Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. Anyone commented
what
where
I
they're
hated
looking
was,
from.
A couple of years ago they changed something to do with Google, and it stopped saying like what exactly people search, how they search
that's
for you.
hilarious how fuck I ended up spelling my name wrong in my blog.
And then there was this there's some like Formula 1 driver called Jeff Gordon whose daughter's called Ella Gordon, and that there was this like one a couple of years ago and it was like, how old is Ella Gordon? And that was like the only reason I could think somebody must have been searching. Yeah, why like she was like a pretty lass.
I was thinking like, you know when a famous person is like 18 and they're like, is Ella Gordon single?
Yeah.
Ella Gordon's husband.
But then there's also a sexual health clinic in England called Ella Gordon Unit.
Wow.
I found that out when I was like, why is like...
Do you think the sexual health clinic was like, we were a patron for the Shetland Wool Week?
I don't know where it came from. There must have been someone else called Ella Gordon or something that was to do that, because that was kind of random, but
yeah,
quite funny.
That's amazing. Do you have plans in the future then for... Do you set yourself specific goals of it? Because like doing a blog after you finish college is kind of like keeping up with recording what you've been up to. Do you have goals for patterns or...
Kind of.
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
No, it's... See, I have like... And then I have loads of plans for designs. But you kind of have to... Like, you have to make the thing, obviously. Write the pattern, which is like really... Well, it's not so much writing the pattern is okay, but you also have to like grade it for different sizes.
Oh, I can't even begin to imagine.
And I am so like not... I'm so bad at maths and everything.
So is that actually for like how many rows and stitches for different sizes and shapes?
Yeah.
Shh. No.
It's, yeah. There is like, I've kind of started to learn, like I had kind of help from like other designers and stuff, because I was like, I didn't even know where to start. Like I was like, how on earth do you do that? But it's kind of to do with like spreadsheets, and once you have your gauge, which is like how many stitches you're getting per inch and how many rows, you can like calculate for different sizes. But still, yeah, it's like... takes ages. And then like you get like a technical editor, like there's people who like check your maths and make sure it's right.
Oh wow.
Like, thank God. Yeah. So again, you write the pattern and send it to them, they check it to make sure your maths is right. 9 times out of 10 there's like some major like issue I've done that would make a sleeve like for like a teeny tiny person instead of like a human sized sleeve, or you like forget a sleeve or something, and then they kind of come back with it, and then you have to like take photos for it and do the layout and all that kind of stuff. So it does take a while, but it's kind of worth it, I think, like when you do it. So I kind of try and just like have something every couple of months or something.
Oh, that's a lot.
But then you do things like I have a design in like the Wool Week annual. So there's like an annual that comes out every year. So I have like a pair of fingerless gloves, and there's like lots of different other patterns that other people have done and stuff. So that's like I'm not publishing it myself, but it's like another design of mine out there in something else that's not just being published by me. So yeah, it's trying to do like other things every now and again in like magazines, because there's a lot in magazines and things like that. I've had like a couple of things in that.
Okay.
And books, yeah, I've like some, like if a designer's doing a book collection, they'll maybe ask you to do a design and stuff. So you kind of have like things, that's the kind of harder things, because you can't really speak about them until they come out, but you might have been working on it for ages and you can't really blog about it or like
Yeah.
share any photos of it. Or
So you want to keep it kind of a secret until
yeah,
the
you kind
patterns.
of have to usually, yeah. Until
I
it
suppose
comes
as well,
out.
if you want to sell the pattern to make money, then you don't want to leak too much.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's you want to make things that's not like people aren't gonna just copy it from the photo.
Oh, I see.
Which is kind of.
So do you have to put on kind of like, want for a better word,
copyright?
like arty, like slightly distorted pictures wearing it with very close.
Well, not really, because people need to be able to see it
Yeah.
to buy it, so it's kind of like a tricky one. But you
Yeah.
have to put like a copyright on the pattern so that like
Oh wow.
you can. This is like you're buying the pattern to make it for yourself, but you can't sell things
Yeah.
made from the
Because there've been so many issues with that recently as well.
Mhm.
Well, there's always been issues with that as well.
No,
big
always,
designers,
yeah. Because it's nobody owns any of our like Shetland's motifs almost.
So see the traditional motifs of Shetland, is there
Mhm.
some kind of patent on that which is like, this is a traditional thing and everyone has rights to it? Or how does the Fair Star work?
Yeah.
Because could some twisted designer buy the Fair Star and patent
Well,
it?
you can't. Not really, but
Okay, sorry. Just
No,
fears,
it's kind of a tricky
irrational
one, but-
fears I have.
well, there's all this stuff about like copyright to do with knitwear, like just in general. And there's something about like if you change 10% of a design, it's a different design. So then the copyright is different.
Okay.
So it's like a minefield, and how you put the pattern together with what colours you use. Do you know what I mean? Everything can change it so easily. And you can buy kind of like the books with just motifs in it, and you can put it into whatever you want. But it's kind of what makes, because I'm not saying like my yoke pattern is like groundbreaking or anything, but you've put the work into grading it for those different sizes and making whatever was a little bit different about it different.
Yeah.
So that is yours.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
you kind of don't own the motif almost, like
Oh,
the
I
star and the tree.
It's just the overall item.
thing.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, but it's
Yeah, I get you
it's all
though.
totally. It's quite a kind of minefield though, because who does own it? Nobody owns it, but everybody owns it.
Yeah.
So it's a funny one.
So are you involved in this year's Shetland Wool Week?
I'll just be I say it's like I'll be working in the shop, which is like so busy, and then I'm doing one class on Monday which is about my like vintage knitwear collection, kind of like an in-depth breakdown of that. But yeah, apart from that, I'll just be working and trying to get to anything at nights if I can, because there's a lot of talks and things going on. But yeah, that'll be good too.
Cool. So you have your own collection. So is it kind of talking about the different styles within Shetland over the years?
Yeah, because I started when I started buying knitwear from charity shops and eBay and blah blah blah. It was really just like buying knitwear for me to wear.
Yeah.
And then kind of like as over the years gone by, I've just kind of like started adding, if there was just something a little bit different, I would buy it. Like kind of there was like a child, like a Bairns jumper or something. So now I've just got this like collection of like totally random things, like Bairns scarves and giant jumpers that would never fit me, but they're like something interesting about them, and like lots of different kind of yokes and lots of things like lace and so I just kind of have got enough stuff now where it's like I have like a kind of rough timeline of like Shetland knitwear over the past like 80 years or something. I think probably the oldest thing I have is there's like a jumper which I think is probably like 1930s.
Oh, nice.
Which I got off Etsy for like £8 or something.
Oh, wow.
And I could tell from the photo and like the description that the person had no idea how
Well, they were
like
holding on to
like how special it was. So I was like, oh my god. Like,
was that a Shetlander?
no, that was Sooth, but it's like a Shetland. Well, I suppose I have no idea. Do I?
Well, yeah, I don't
where
think
it
a
came
Shetlander
from?
would sell a Fair jumper for £8
No.
ever.
No. I know. So sometimes that's how I've been lucky.
Yeah.
Gotten stuff really cheap, but then other times I've paid like way too much for some things. But it's just I just love. Yeah.
And it's nice that you're actually buying it to share and teach folk about it.
But also to wear it. Like
Yeah.
I buy it and I just wear it. Like if it's something I really like, because that's why it was made.
Yeah.
Like probably one day, like when I die or anything, there'll probably be, there'll be enough to like start some kind of museum or something anyway. But until that point, like, I just want to, like, wear things. Like, that jumper, like, the really, really old one, I don't wear that because it is kind of, like, it's got a lot of, like, men's, like, there's been holes and stuff and it's been mended, and it's, because it's so old, it is kind of, like, precious.
Fragile?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Quite precious to me, so I don't wear that one, but, like, 85% of the other stuff I wear that.
Which is what it's for.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
And it's really interesting. It's really interesting to actually as well because it's very creative. It's a really funny mix for me because I always think, oh, I love anyone who's doing creative things in Shetland, and it's really interesting how they do that as well, and actually make money off that too. But it's also what you're doing is like one of the oldest creative things in Shetland, like Mackin is as old as time in Shetland. Awesome.
Well, I just love it, and I think it was that way. You know, like when I was growing up, I never knew, like, I never found anything that I was like, oh, this is what I get. Like, at school, I was, like, good at school and got on okay and everything, but I just never really found the thing. And then, even so, I did that art course, and I was like, yeah, I like it. And then when I started the textile course, and then, like, we did knitting, I was like, well, I quite like this. Because you just do machine knitting, like, at college, you don't do hand knitting. And then, I kind of, like, when I was in, like, my final year, I was like, yeah, I think I really like this. And then when I got my Saturday job, I was like, okay, yeah, I really, really do like this. And it was just like something clicked, and then ever since then it's just like, if I'm not doing knitting, then I'm like thinking about it, or
that's really funny,
speaking about it, and it's like sometimes I'm like, you're just obsessed, but I am, but like in a good way.
It's funny too because I think I've known you since school, but what you say, because of your presence within the knitting community and knowing you through like Wool Week and your craft shoes pattern and seeing all your artwork and your blog, now if you asked me, I'd have been like, she's always been into it.
Yeah. I know.
She's always known.
And I'm not at all. And I think that somehow sometimes it's like makes it more, I don't know,
organic.
I've totally came to it just naturally. It just all happened at the right time.
Yeah.
And nothing was forced about it. And actually probably because when we learnt to knit at school, I really couldn't care less. You just did it. I never thought anything of it at all at the time.
Class, yeah. I'm glad I learnt it, but I couldn't do more as plain and puddle, and sometimes I can't remember which one I'm doing.
But it's all you'd have to do is a little bit, and you
yeah.
But yeah, so I was actually like almost like kind of like, oh, knitting, like, and it's just crazy because I'm just like so into it now.
How can folk find your website and patterns? What's your website called?
If you just
Google search.
Yeah, but I think it's just ellagordondesigns.co.uk.
Brilliant. So, and also if you just Google search how old is Ella Gordon,
find my blog eventually. And I also Instagram, I'm just Ella Gordon Designs. That's another thing, like people say to me like, why does so many people follow you on Instagram? I'm like, well, it's just knitting. Like the knitting community on Instagram is huge. And like sometimes you meet people and they're like, oh, like, you know, I'm like birds of a feather on Instagram. You're like, oh yeah, like I never thought you'd look like that or whatever.
But I suppose as well because knitting and then it's a visual thing. It's such a visual thing.
And you love to share.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you love putting pictures up and stuff. But then sometimes I get like, the same with Instagram as I do with blog. Like get the kind of the fear about putting things up and make it like such a big thing in your head.
Yeah.
But you just think people want to see what you're doing and are interested, so.
Yeah, and the beauty of Shetland as well is I know a few other bloggers and other people doing different creative things, and it's almost like in between posting what they've been working on, actually we have this amazing benefit of living in such a beautiful island that you can just post.
You can just post a photo of it.
Because Shetland is unique, so you just post it for the banks and they're like, oh, yeah, it's bony.
Yeah, and again, you totally take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because we live here and it's just what we've always looked at, kind of. Well, there's when you can see it through other people's eyes, almost how kind of interesting they find it.
Yeah,
it makes you be interested again.
It's great. We have up for Wool Week for it. When they get amazed by the knitwear, I'd be like, it is amazing.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for speaking to us today.
That's okay.
And thanks for being on the show, Ella. And thank you guys for listening to another Shetland Times podcast.